Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang Weekend Workshop. My name is Eddie. I've been practicing Satsang for 14 years, and today I will be introducing this event's facilitator. But first, I'd like to give a brief introduction to this weekend workshop. If you'll direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a modern scientific technique for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, sat and sang. Sat means positive energy, and sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Thus, the word satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. When we meditate, we withdraw our consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards and focus on a single thought. In doing so, our consciousness becomes elevated and we can achieve states of enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The practice of meditation calms the mind and purifies the thoughts. The next element is inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, outer satsang and inner satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior. But it's only through the practice of inner satsang that we can obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang, where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul. But only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today will consist of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, instruction will be given on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions and/or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his relatives obtain enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. Upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to hold satsang for satsangees. In keeping with his charitable mission to spread satsang throughout the world, he continues to make innovations to satsang, which make it more accessible to Westerners and English speakers. He currently travels throughout the United States and India facilitating satsang, while maintaining his duties as a father, a husband, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumarji.
Thanks, Eddie. And a happy Saturday to everyone. We start with this music before, as you join. The whole idea is to, start getting into the meditative mode. So as always, we will practice meditation for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little more. It starts with how to meditate instructions. So that's the guided part. We don't do guided in terms of either breathing or guidance throughout the meditation, because for deeper meditation, yes, you need guidance, but it's an instruction, and once given, then you transition in through music into deeper meditation in silence. So that's what we will do. But before then, the informative session is just an extended transition into deeper meditation. And the goal here is that all of us at least see a glimpse of, a really deep, peaceful state. If not higher consciousness and awareness, which should be part of it as well. So before we start, today, actually, I think we either posted this video yesterday or we are just about to post it. We'll on the YouTube channel. We'll share the channel in the chat. So I wanted to share that with you. It starts with a couple of, concepts, but then gets into a question that people ask, as well as, 3 stages of evolution when you start this practice in earnest. And it's all about practice, practice, practice. And I would say, even if you're test driving this, put a, few group sessions, and, you're welcome here anytime, but also try to evolve an individual practice. So a lot of people say that when I join, the group session, for that period of time, I'm calm, I'm quiet. But then as soon as I go back to my normal day-to-day, it's back to square one in so many ways. So my father used to describe 3 stages, and this video talks about it. And if there is any question on that, we can, after the meditation, we can pick up that topic. So, Yuan, could you share the video, please? Thanks. So I'm Sanjeev Kumar, and today I'm in the beautiful city called Pink City, Jaipur in India. My grandfather, Guru Maharaj, and his youngest son, my father, used to live in Jaipur. Guru Maharaj was in Mathura. So Guru Maharaj gave a very unique guided meditation practice, which is not like guided in the sense that through the meditation, you hear some guidance. His approach was provide the guidance prior to the meditation session. All sessions have that guidance before. I think it is because our minds just continue to play games. So have to be instructed before any meditative session, because it just doesn't come naturally to us. We were talking about energy, transcendental energy. Satsang is nothing but being with positive energy. And that positive energy can do wonders. It uplifts you, refreshes you, restores you, transforms you. Satsang can be a very transformative experience. And how you manifest that energy, how consistent you are in that practice, how much receiving power, storage power capability that you basically inculcate within you matters. But then a lot of people say that, I come to satsang, which is the group session, and I feel great. I feel energized, I feel the calmness, and I feel energized, I feel a glimpse of peace and joy. But then when I go back to work or go back home, it doesn't last. I find myself back to square one. It is kind of related to the concept of how much we are receiving, how much we are able to store in terms of this positive energy. So let's talk about that. And interestingly, my father, Dr. Narendra Kumarji, who was a professor in chemistry in University of Rajasthan in Jaipur, he used to give a very nice example. He used to say that, let's say, if there is a bucket of cold water, or let's say it's a pond of cold water, and on the shore there is a stone, and that stone is getting heated up in the sun. So it's like how we are heated up. There's no calmness, there is no quiet within us. So that stone is getting heated up in the sun. And if you take that stone and put in that cold water, it becomes cold. So that is how you feel when you are in satsang, when you are in any meditative practice, so to say, many of the meditative practices. But then when you take it out and put it back outside, it heats up again pretty quickly. So that is what, going back to square one or going back to home or work and finding that the way you were feeling during the meditation or in the meditation session no longer, it just back to square one very, very quickly. So he used to say that if you continue the meditation, continue your practice, and your ability to receive and store slowly becomes better with that practice and with that guidance, what happens is that stone transforms itself into a cotton ball. Now, if there is a cotton ball that is heated up in the sun, it is heated up, but if you put it in the cold water, it soaks up that water. So you have to become not a stone, but a cotton ball. When you sit in the meditative session, you soak up all that energy like a cotton ball. And when that cotton ball is taken out and put back in the sun, it takes a while before it gets heated up. So that's the power of continual practice. That's the power of receiving and storing and kind of developing that capability, which is nothing but consistent practice. But then there is a third stage, which my father used to talk about, which not everybody is able to get to, unfortunately. But if you continue the practice, if you continue to take the guidance and continue the transformation that satsang is capable of, then what happens is you cut across to the third stage, where your inner world from stone, which became to a cotton ball, now becomes salt. So if salt was out there in the sun and getting heated up, you put it in water, now it has melted away. It's kind of become one. It has taken the form of water in some ways, right? So it gets dissolved in the water, and now it's water, maybe salty water. That is where the limit, going from being limited to limitless, where you surrender to a higher power. It has a negative connotation. Here, this example says you had some characteristics and you got into this energy and you became the energy. So you are now limitless. You are now as powerful as the cosmic energy. And I firmly believe that you can achieve that state where light, love, and peace gets combined into this higher consciousness, which is called Satsang. So you become the Sat because of Satsang. That's the state, that's the target state, where you have light, love, and peace in abundance. Satchidanand, it's referred to in the scriptures. It's joy, it's calm and quietness and deep sense of peace and unchanging and the ultimate everlasting positive energy.
So to go from a stone to a cotton ball to becoming a salt inside, we have to do some inner pursuits, and satsang is one of them. So let's practice. It's all about your own individual journey, individual, experience. So that's why I always, I don't teach anything. I don't really, some of these things I might share with you, but I call myself the session facilitator because, Eddie's, anyway, so something is happening in the background for Linda. Hopefully you can resolve that. So basically let's get into this meditation, practice it together, and with this collective energy, not just become calm, but get energized. So the key here is that we want to manifest, we want to manifest this transcendental energy and eventually become that, right? We want to receive and then become capable of storing, and then eventually be part of this energy or just become the energy itself. So let's get to this, how to do this, right? So number one, we can do transition in, transition out. We can this is heart centric, so we can we can try to do other things before or after. At this time, let's just manifest this transcendental energy and think the presence of it right here, right now with us. So think of this energy in form of light, right here in front of us, and that it's entering our heart. And that's important. It's entering our heart. And then from there, like the blood goes to every nook and corner of our body, this light is getting distributed throughout our body. So it's enlightening, it's energizing, and, uplifting. So, we are in the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light. That light is entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we are becoming totally and completely immersed in this light. So mind will wander away because that's typical. So all you have to do is keep trying to manifest this transcendental energy in form of light. And when you go deeper, you might forget what you started manifesting, where you are, who you are, and all that, which is fine. But when you find that your mind has wandered away from this observance of this energy, you bring it back. So all you have to do effortlessly, just think that you are in the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light. That light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. So we're trying to concentrate our mind to give it this one thought from the barrage of thoughts in our mind. We're bringing it to one thought, and then we'll leave that alone. Leave that thought as well when we go into deeper meditation. So first, there is music to start with, because music is a good transition in mechanism. And there will be transition out music. But we have to keep our body as still as possible. So when body moves, your mind moves with it. So we have to keep that in mind. So sit in a relaxed posture. So any posture, just when you sit, just make sure that, it's all so relaxed that you're not moving. And you don't have to, every time your body will adjust, move a bit, it will distract your mind. So try to sit in a relaxed posture where you can sit still for the period of meditation. Now, if mind wanders away, you bring it back. You also have to not only sit in relaxed posture, keep your eyes closed, because eyes also get sensory input and you get distracted. So eyes lightly closed, relaxed posture so you can sit still for the period of meditation. We will start music now. So all you have to do through the music and then silence and then transition out, all through that time, you're just doing an effortless approach of manifesting or imagining this transcendental energy in form of light that's in front of you, entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one. You're getting completely and totally immersed in this light. That's all. So just one thought. Let's start now. So before I ask others to share how the session went and what worked and what didn't, Luz, happy Saturday. And, I just wanted to, I don't think I ever asked you. You have been pretty regularly attending group sessions for almost a year now. So do you think the inner cotton ball has evolved to a point where you feel the energy lives with you longer than before?
Well, first, I want to say happy Saturday, everyone. It's always wonderful to meditate with all of you. I love this meditation group, and I am so very blessed to have you all to meditate with on Saturdays. So, yeah, I was thinking about that, the symbolism you were using with the cotton ball, the metaphor. I would say it's in between the rock and the cotton ball. It may not be totally the cotton ball just yet, but that's probably because I don't engage in the practice as frequently as I would like. But but I engage with it enough. I do think that there has been a tangible effect. I do think that I can maintain a certain state even when I'm not like meditating, when I'm out there in the world. But that state is not meditative, right? It's more of a calm state.
Yep. Yep.
Or a state in which I could experience troubles sometimes and still remain calm, and understanding the different reasons why things occur. But there are times where if the sun is too hot, it depends on the weather, I guess, right? The situation, it still depends. It's not consistent
totally.
yet. But I liked your metaphor, and I had a question about, I know that it's rare for people to reach the third state with the salt in the water, but is this to say then that when that state where the salt is immersed in the water, that's to say it never leaves the water? Is that right? Like that's a permanent change? Is that what that's supposed to reflect?
I think it's a question like on the pyramid, if there are 5 steps, and I think it's like how far you can go becomes the level that you are at. So it's not that you cannot be at lower levels, but how far you can go becomes, your level. So it's not that if you have, gotten to the third stage, you will never, feel that you are in second or first stage, off and on like this. The reason it's called a spiritual journey is because we keep walking through it, and ups and downs do come. But what's the, when you are in, everything is working, how far do you go? How much, do you really get to this higher state or not, right? So, but I would say this, my experience is, it's pretty much a transformation that's, initially could be a little iffy, but then it actually really rewires you. So, and I have seen people who got to that state, and fortunate, enough to have seen something like that. That's one of my motivations. While I know that, it's hard to fathom that, you can go to that stage. And I also observe, because in India, there are thousands of people who are doing something similar, and I don't see those many people get to the third stage, which I feel is, I mean, if I could do anything to change that, I would. I do see that in this practice, if I look at like hundreds of thousands of people who have followed this practice, do they come to the second stage for real? The answer is a very affirmative yes. I've seen a lot of people get to the second stage. I have seen a lot less people get to the third stage. And that, I think, you see, the thing is, like, not everyone wants to even meditate, right? So I feel that not everyone actually wants to get to the third stage, because there's no free lunch. You got to really dedicate, devote, have follow things in a different way to get to that stage. So But a short answer to your question is, does it? Yeah, we get rewired, seriously. Somebody was actually telling me that even some of these, you know, music compositions at different hertz, they affect your DNA. And I don't know if it does, but I really feel that there was serious amount of change that has happened in me through meditation. And some of it is probably very ingrained and instilled now, right? So
I can totally see that. And I see that, I've seen that in my own life. Yeah. I think that over the years I've been meditating, I definitely think there has been a shift. It may not be, again, it's again maybe in between the rock and the cotton ball, but it's definitely veering towards that second stage.
See, one thing I'll tell you, Luz, I actually like when people are humble, right? Because one of the things that meditation should teach us is to be humble. So I would take, your answer, but who knows? I mean, you are maybe on the way to the third stage. I really enjoy your being here. Seriously, I mean, no kidding there. And I think we're just. I think what is important is to stay consistent to our practice and get deeper and deeper. And this. One thing that I think about when I get frustrated either with, how it is being perceived or how am I progressing and so on and so forth, I always go back to, some of the leaders, who practiced and evolved this practice after my grandfather, who himself, wrote books after books on, he himself said that things that were not put on paper, he did. Things which were not, shared very publicly, he did. I think some of the things are just fascinating and incredible. But anyway, let's. So before I would like Eddie, who has been in this for a long haul, will probably get his view. But Pam, Linda, Mary, anybody, Tracy, Andy, any thoughts, comments, questions, Shanta?
It's Linda. I have a question.
Yes, please.
This is my first session, and thank you for the opportunity to attend it. I was just wondering, I had some sensations. Is that normal for a first-time meditation?
So yes and no. The thing is, any energy would, would have, manifesting energy could have some physical effects. But as you practice, you will acclimatize. So I would not expect this to continue, at least, and if it does, then we can have a one-on-one session.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing. So Linda, how was your overall, were you able to concentrate? Were you able to really have a good meditation session? overall?
Initially, I was really into it, and then somehow I kind of ventured off into world life events, and then I had to bring myself back into the meditation.
Yeah. See, people don't realize, like, why for 15 minutes of meditation, why do we have to spend an hour or more, right? And the reason is just that, right? So many things are going on. So just to transition into a deep meditation takes a little bit. No, it's very natural and normal. So, but yeah, with practice, I think things improve. So, Andy, any thoughts, comments? All right. So I wanted to wrap up a little early. So yeah, oh, Andy, we can't hear you because I think you're muted. Let me see if I can ask you.
Hi.
Hello.
My only question is, during the initial probably 15 minutes, I was clearly in a very calm state. And I'm not sure if it was more like almost to the point of sleeping. And then I sort of woke up and then opened my eyes to see that it was still going on in progress and had to get back to the calming zone.
Mm-hmm.
My question is the difference between being in a meditative state and actually sleeping. Can you speak to that?
Oh, yeah. This is coming up more often lately. I think this is the third time in recent weeks. So, and I always start with this, that what you're describing to me is that you're relaxing, you're feeling that, like sometimes folks go into deeper meditation and they just, because it's kind of new, they feel that, oh, maybe it was sleep, right? So I wouldn't even, I think the way you're describing to me, I would just continue. But I will answer your question still. So on personal level, I find that in a world where people are not able to sleep well, et cetera, I always find that, if, this is one way to get into a power nap or something, why not? But like on the flip side, if I was to talk more academically in terms of meditation itself, I think it's very important to distinguish between sleep and meditation. So sleep is, I think both have refreshing elements to it, but meditation is being awake, quote unquote. I was, I actually researched a little bit, and being awake versus asleep, meditation is more about awareness and our consciousness, but not in the way we think about it. So I would say they are two distinct states, but sometimes, it's hard to tell. So I would observe this, and, like how would I know that I slept or I was meditating? Because deep meditation, I do forget where I am and who I am. And so I would, at least at this point, not worry about it, just continue. If other people, I mean, and believe me, I'm not kidding you. I have had in-person meditation sessions where people are snoring, and Shivangi is laughing because it just happened this month. But I still would say continue. If you really feel somebody else is telling you, or you become very aware that, yeah, it is sleep, not meditation, then again, I think, as I was talking to Linda, I mean, we can have a one-on-one session and maybe tweak it a little bit, but not to worry, just continue. And that's what I would suggest for now.
Okay, thank you. Although I still am not sure, you mentioned not knowing that there is a difference, but sometimes maybe not knowing where you were, whether it was the deep meditative state or the sleep state. And I'm not sure where I was, other than seeming to wake up and realize I was in this, and is the meditation still going on? And you said, I mean, how do you tell that difference where you were?
So there are things like we discussed, you start soaking up a lot more energy, you feel more energized. And there are your behavior start changing for better. All those could be things that would tell. Like I'll tell you my own experience. And Tracy, glad to hear that you were here second time, and would definitely, you're welcome to join anytime. And I really feel good to have you here. So Andy, I'll give you an example. When I realized how important transition in and transition out is. So I was here in Virginia. We did a session in public library, and I was with Omkar. I was doing some of these sessions, and what happened was that particular day, so I would keep like half hour before and half hour after the session, so that nobody disturbs us during the session. This particular session, what happened was that I only found a slot, and somebody was to come after the session. And somehow we started late, and I was in deep meditation, and somebody knocked on the door. And I am telling you, I felt like I came out of, like, it was a shock to the system. It just jolted out. So it was like, somebody just woke you up from deep sleep, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm saying that, if in person, I could have probably told you like, okay, this sounds like this way or that way. But for now, what I would suggest is like, they're very similar. And if you will continue the practice, and either you will find out, or we can have a, conversation about it again. But I wouldn't worry too much. Just keep doing it.
Okay, no, I wasn't worried. I was just curious. And one last question. You
Sure.
talked about transitioning out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that we did that, other than, well, music came on toward the end.
Yeah.
Was that the transitioning out?
and what we're doing right now, right? The questions. And so what I found, so my grandfather had this, stuff before the meditation, stuff after the meditation, and till this session in this public library I just talked about, I never realized that there is a transition out required. Right? Transition in, I understand, like I'm all over the place and my thoughts are all over the place. I'm thinking about something. I need some transition in to, switch my mode into meditation, right? But then why do I need transition out, right? So I never really understood till this thing happened and I was shocked out of meditation. And I'm like, I need to smoothly come out of that to avoid that shock, right? But I also found that, let's say I have imbibed some energy, right? Like right after food, you need to do something to help the digestion or something. Maybe I'm making this up now, but it's like every activity you need to like come out of it in some way, shape, or form. And meditation requires a little bit of transition out so that, it's almost like when you're not able to think straight, you just take a walk and that helps, right?
Okay. All right. Then the question is, if you're doing it yourself and you want to transition out, do you set a little beep beep alarm on your watch to say, okay, time's up, or do you just let it stop when it stops?
Actually, I feel an alarm might be better, because otherwise, the mind will continue to. So let me put it this way. Once in a little more advanced stage, and I think the body clock sets up, and you would sit down for meditation, and 10-15 minutes later you will come out of it, but you'll have to look at the watch still to see was my mind taking you off in a few minutes, or it is actually time for the meditation to be over. So alarm initially helps, because then you are not worried about like, oh, I've been sitting for too long or something like that, or
Thank you.
Yeah, it helps cultivate a longer, deeper meditation without thinking about that aspect. And I am actually working on. I will create a playlist on my YouTube channel, and probably. So I'm working on like a daily meditation packet, right? It's like it will have some music, and then silence, and then music again, something, and instruction as well. So working on that.
Great. And is there a link, or there'll be a link to that once you have completed it?
Yeah, I will definitely put it on. So it will be a daily meditation playlist on the YouTube channel, and Shivangi will share the YouTube channel.
Great. Thank you.
And yeah, sure thing. Yeah, just trying to help. Most of us kind of go through very, very similar hurdles, questions, and so that's why I'm trying to put some FAQs, and so it's still work in progress. There is tons and tons and tons of material for, my grandfather established this in 1930. So he wrote books like you won't believe. I mean, 7-volume book on his experiences and so on and so forth. He used to have a monthly newsletter there. But English, we're still in infancy when it comes to the resources. So trying. All right. And happy Saturday to everyone. So before we wrap up, maybe Eddie, can you have some wrap-up thoughts for today? And, and then I would like to see everyone here again next week. All right, Eddie.
Okay, yeah, I will be very brief. In the intro, we say that satsang is a scientific method, right, for obtaining higher states of consciousness, for achieving the joy that we're looking for. And it is just that. And so the lecture that we heard today is that, when you practice and you're persistent in your practice, that you will achieve ultimately the end goal. The end goal of being immersed in that transcendental energy or light. And we can associate that with being peaceful, with being joyous. And so today's lecture is just a reminder that this is a scientific process. It doesn't require any previous meditation experience or any special physical skill or any previous spiritual accomplishment. Just practice, be persistent, and ultimately you'll get to that point to where you are like the salt and you sort of melt into the ocean and become one with it. And that's the ultimate goal. And then I'll just add to that, my experience along this path or this journey, there comes moments that may last for 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes where you can experience higher states of consciousness for a very brief period of time. I guess you can say it's sort of like a gift. And it gives you an idea of what's to come. It doesn't last very long, but it gives you an idea of something that's to come. So this is another thing that you can be on the lookout for. But just practice, and you'll get there.
Very good. So on that note, see you all very soon. Have a great week ahead. And group sessions do help. Group sessions were lifeline to me. So I always, tell people that individual practice is very important, but group sessions can be even more important. So on that note, see you all soon. Take care. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Yeah, namaskar. Everyone have a good day.
Take care.